Let's go on to our next topic here. Steve-O,
Yo,
let's do yours, buddy.
sorry, wasn't feeling good for a second there, guys.
No, that's okay.
Actually, I think I was gonna actually talk about weddings.
Yeah, because somebody, not naming names, just got
Yeah.
married.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yesterday.
I heard about a guy that got married.
I was gonna see what you guys thought about, like, you think a big wedding's like necessary. I know this is coming from a guy's point of view, and we never think anything's necessary, especially when money comes involved. But just want to get you guys' opinions on, because I had basically a small wedding for myself. We just went down to the courthouse. I paid like $30 for a ceremony room, and we
Yeah.
just got married. It wasn't very long at all. I had my mother there, and then my two daughters, and it was just personal, and it was just in my opinion, like, just it was a lot better than knowing, like, stressing out as far as like who's coming, who's not, and
Yeah.
everything.
Oh yeah, it's a pain in the ass.
I think that part, like the stress of like planning and like worrying beforehand, is like a big part of a big wedding, like fear for me at least.
Put
Yeah.
that money towards a house.
Right.
That's
Well,
all I'm going to say.
I didn't. Yeah, I didn't have a big wedding, but I mean, we had about 50 or 60 people, and it was just like a little beach wedding and everything, and we rented out.
Yeah, but how much did that wedding cost you, if you don't mind me asking?
No, that's fine. Actually, Taylor and I, we ran the whole thing. We paid for it all ourselves, and it cost us $5,000.
Wow.
Yeah.
I know, but we think that's a lot
Actually-
of money. Like, I think that's a lot of money, but people are saying,
Oh,
like,
yeah,
that's
it's
actually really cheap.
That's so
so
cheap.
for
Yeah.
That's
for
so
wedding.
cheap. How
And you
much?
know what's-
Wait, is this with or without the honeymoon?
The honeymoon, actually, my wife's grandparents, because like our thing is like we told everyone we don't need a fucking blender, we don't need a bread maker, So we just said we want to have a badass honeymoon.
Yeah.
So my
That's the way to
mother-in-law
do it.
was gonna create like a little website where people just donated, put their money towards like this awesome honeymoon.
Oh, yeah.
So we were starting to kind of build that, and my wife's grandparents, they live out in California. They just said, "Oh, our gift is we're just going to pay for your honeymoon."
That's awesome.
So they bought us a trip to Hawaii for a week.
Nice,
Like it
man.
was fucking awesome. It was like, and I was like in awe. I was like, "Well, now do we ask for blenders and bread makers?" I was like, "What the fuck do we do now?"
Yeah.
But pretty much everyone just kind of gave us money towards the trip. So like we had an awesome week vacation. But
That's solid.
my father-in-law paid for the food, which was the most expensive of the whole thing. Now, granted, okay, my wedding was on a Thursday, and everyone
So was
was
mine.
like, yeah, everyone was like, a fucking Thursday? I was like, yeah. And they're like, well, what about like people with work and stuff like that? I said, listen, if they can make it, then great. If you can't,
Yeah.
I don't care. That's totally cool with me too. But the place that we were booking, it was like, I think it was like $800 Monday through Thursday, but then on the weekends or Friday
It jumps.
was like $4,000. I
Yeah.
was like, yeah, you know what? That's like my whole budget. So no,
Yeah.
we're good.
Dude, I'm
so
the exact same. Yeah.
So yeah, we had a Thursday wedding. It was actually went great. I hired my old kitchen manager when I was in like the restaurant industry. He owns his own like little pub and restaurant. So he catered the whole thing. So I got like really good food, like seafood and like chicken and everything at cost. And he catered the whole thing. We kind of just hired like people and did all the work ourselves. The most expensive thing was the food and the location. So,
Nice.
but
That's good.
yeah, it went off without a hitch, which was pretty fucking surprising. Besides the whole ring thing with my brother, and but yeah, we didn't want a huge wedding. It wasn't going to be a church wedding. It was just on the beach, and we rented out there's this big pavilion, like a 2-story building, and it's for sailors, like people that go sailing and everything like that. So it was really cool,
Mhm.
and it wasn't
So,
that expensive.
You think it was worth it then, right?
Oh, 100%. For exactly what we paid on it, I think it was just like a little over 5, maybe like closer to $6,000. But I feel like that beats any wedding, because like my wife's friend got married a month or two before that and dropped like 30 grand, and
That's
I'm like,
about how much you're gonna spend.
what?
Really?
can't.
Yeah.
There's no way, man. I can't
And
do that.
30
Like people
grand?
even say like
Yes.
$10,000 is a cheap wedding too.
Yes,
People are like, yeah,
$10,000 is cheap.
I was
Yeah.
like $10,000.
Yeah.
What?
So
Sarah and I dropped almost 40.
$40,000?
For yeah, yep. And that's it. 40 and change honeymoon. We went to Italy.
Oh, that's with the honeymoon and
Dude, I'm
everything.
like, I'm still like in awe. $40,000, dude. I want to throw up.
It's
How
a
do you
lot.
feel?
It's a lot. We had to save every damn penny. We luckily like collectively her parents, my parents paid for about like a third of it. Or a little less, but like, so it was mostly, I don't want to take full credit, but it really was Sarah and I were kind of paying for most of it. So we just saved every freaking dime that we had, and we did the same thing that Ian was saying.
I
You
mean,
know,
was it something? But I know, but like,
It was
this
like
something,
Friday-
you
it was
guys
like Friday,
wanted?
Saturday, and
Like,
Sunday.
you guys really wanted this kind of wedding, or it just added up to that?
Sarah probably wanted a smaller one, honestly, and I was like, we gotta have fun. We gotta invite people, like, and then it just balloons, dude. That's the scary thing, and that's why
Yeah,
you
it
were
does.
so right. Like, and that's why Ian's mentality was like, look, you either come or you don't, and because if you try to accommodate everyone, you will just screw. Like, every person that came was like about almost $300. It was $300 every person that came because of food, liquor. Like, it just adds up so much, right? And the venue, like Ian was saying, it was like 10 grand on the weekends, and then they're like, well, it's only 2 grand on Thursdays. I was like, we're doing this.
Thursday.
Yeah, I was like, easy. And then I was like, look, if you guys can't come, I totally understand because it's expensive. Don't worry about it. Like,
Yeah.
and then you got a DJ, and then you got a photographer. Photographers are not fucking cheap. We found a really good one for a price. He was about 3 grand or something like that. But like,
Oh shit.
we got him for the core hours. Like, there was no photography for like getting dressed. It was just like when we first got there, the whole ceremony, and an hour into dancing. Because I was like, look, I don't care about seeing myself like without, like, I don't need that. Like, she doesn't need that. I just need the core hours, and 1 hour of dancing is fine. Any other hours, it's useless. Like, it's the same thing over and over again. So, and then we had, you have a harpist or like someone to come in to actually like play you in, so you got to think of that. And then there's like extra stuff
You had
within
a
the venue.
harpist?
Yeah. Well,
Damn.
because you
Wait,
can.
Alan, did you go?
I was there, yeah.
Was it beautiful? Like,
They paid me $5,000 to show up.
Yeah.
So yeah, I
Make a
gotta take
speech.
credit for the cost of the wedding is partially because of me.
Yeah.
No, to be honest, it was an amazing wedding. Like, it was like a beautiful venue, and I mean, definitely a memorable wedding for sure.
Yeah.
I think.
Whether it's worth it or
$40,000
not is
But
But I
another.
had no idea that that's how much
That's
weddings
how it's
cost,
like-
and I'm just like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Like,
And then
Because I've always kind of thought. No, I mean, to me, like personally, I always kind of like the idea of going down to the courthouse and getting married and everything.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't know if that's what I'll end up doing or what, but yeah.
Well, let me tell you, it was an experience, dude. I thought it was pretty funny because the thing is, have you been to courthouses? Because like
No,
there's people
not
there.
really.
It's basically like a DMV too, because people
Yeah.
are
Oh, yeah.
they're licensed
so, like,
there.
angry
They're like,
people.
You
Yeah,
you
so-
have to go to one anyway, even if
Yeah.
you get married outside of
Yeah,
your
you
house.
still have to go. Yeah.
yeah. So like, I mean, the thing but we went there like, we're all dressed up. You know what I
Yeah.
mean, like that. So we're going there. We're sitting down. There's people all around us, like. It's Pinellas Park, so it's like all like Kick Town and like this and that. So it's pretty funny. And like the funny thing is the courthouse is in this little ceremony rooms in this thing, and it's not a closed off room. So like the tops like thing. So like in the middle of the ceremony, I mean, you hear this like, you take this woman, blah blah, blah, and you all of a sudden now serving 181. It's like you hear that in the background. So we like laughed a little bit. It was pretty like a memorable experience and everything. But like it ended up being pretty good. I mean what we did, and I loved it and everything. But we were planning like on just like a month later. We're gonna have like Olive Garden cater. We're gonna pay for like, I don't know, probably like $500, and then we're just gonna have our family and friends and stuff like that.
It's good.
Cool.
To go, to come and everything like that. So like that's probably about as much as we're gonna spend.
That's
Yeah.
But I mean this isn't bad. I mean nobody really drinks in our family that much, and if they do, they'll probably just drink beer and they'll probably bring their own beer and stuff like that. But
that's the
it
other
won't be
thing,
that
man.
many
Like,
people.
it's really hard to like when you have a wedding, you kind of want to have an open bar. Like, it's hard.
That is expensive.
It's so expensive,
I'm
but like that, like if you were to give any, like as a guest, if you were to give them anything, I would skimp a little bit on the food if I knew if they could drink as much as they wanted to, because I feel like they're making this trip and it's like that's like Sarah and I talked about this a bunch. It's like I really think like if we're gonna put stock in one kind of portion, it's this.
Well, the thing is that we had this big discussion, and we decided to go with just beer and wine. And I told Taylor, I was like, I don't want people getting sloppy at the wedding, and
that's true.
And so we just had beer and wine. And the thing was, I said, but for sure, knowing like my brother and like some other people,
They're gonna be bringing
like that,
something.
someone's gonna start bringing. Yeah. So eventually, a few bottles got behind the bar, and of course, and it's so funny because the bartenders that I hired, I used to work with. And,
so they don't care.
Yeah. So like but they kept asking me like, hey, can that person have hard alcohol? I'm like, you know what? Screw it. Just whatever. And people started bringing their own bottles and everything. And I'm like, okay, I'm so glad I didn't have an open bar because, just had beer and wine, because people would just got sloshed and it would have been bad, and
That's
I didn't want to deal with that. So
yeah, because you don't want to have that shit happen at your wedding.
Yeah,
man, dude. There's so many like wedding planner. If you have that, like they can be expensive. They're like $1,000 or so. You got cake and desserts and shit you gotta think about, and like.
But looking back on it now, man, $40,000. Like looking back at it, like.
You heard my response.
Do you know how many skins you can buy on League of Legends?
Yeah,
with
that's a lot of skins. No, I think if we were to do it over, we probably it's hard, man, because it really was memorable and it was amazing.
No, I mean, absolutely, you can't. I guess that goes back to like money. Money isn't everything. Like it's experiences basically in life, and if you have that as a memorable experience, that's something you guys can look back to.
That's kind of the deal, dude. And like
as long as you guys had like a ton of fun, there was no drama. I mean, that's got to be beautiful. Man.
I was very selfish. Looking back at it, I crack a smile and I get flooded with guilt for a second, and then I remember that it's my wedding. I could do whatever I want. But Alan will tell you, I was on the dance floor nonstop. I didn't do the traditional, hey, thanks for coming. How you doing? But I was like, fuck this, dude. I'm out there. I'm having fun and I'm drinking.
Good.
Like, you want to come talk to me? Come talk to me. It's like I'm just having fun.
That's kind of how I was. Yeah, I was just there, just having a good time, dancing, doing whatever.
Right. Yeah, because you see like couples like
they gotta make the rounds.
Look like they're stressed out. Yeah. How are you guys doing this? I'm like, nah, man, that's not how it's about. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, just have fun. Like, you hired a DJ to play the music you like, and you're not gonna go out there and enjoy it. I was like, come on, like, yeah. And so it's just hard because we could have definitely put that money towards a house, and like it would have been way better. But it's I don't know. It's a give and take. But I did take the opportunity to like get my own custom suit. And so I put money into that, and that was like...
Yeah, you did look sharp as hell.
That was like another experience that I feel like I wanted to have, and so I don't know, man. It's really to each their own.
You still have a suit?
Oh yeah, the thing's gonna last me like 20 years at least.
You have to wear it.
You're gonna wear it to your like
everything.
Yeah, it'd be the 100th episode. You're gonna wear it to Clay's like.
I will.
Not Clay, Xander's wedding.
Oh yeah.
Oh
yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna
be
great.
There's so many. Yeah, and then. The other the weddings bring like dumb politics and shit that you have to stress about.
Oh, no.
You know what I mean? Who's sitting with who, where, and when? Who gets a dance?
Open seating. Fuck it.
That's actually a great solution to that problem. But there's just a ton of other stuff. You're gonna have a dance. You're not gonna have a dance. Who's gonna walk you down that? Who's not?
So wait, did you have a wedding
speech?
plan?
Did I? Yeah.
Oh, you did. Okay, cool. So I was wondering, like, I don't know if you guys planned it all yourself or.
Well, see, I did, and like we didn't have wedding planners, and I'll tell you, the day of, that would not have gone, like our wedding would not have gone off if it wasn't for my mom and my aunt. They did so much shit, and like literally beforehand, like I had my sister and my nieces and nephews and everything putting the tablecloths on, the centerpieces, and I put everyone to fucking work, man.
That's good.
Yeah, and like it felt better though because everyone, like my family and everyone sat there like, hey, we did all this, not like we hired someone to do this, like, and just hang everything.
All right, now I'm
and then you gotta Steve, and then you gotta tip everybody.
Yeah.
What? Yeah, and then you gotta tip everybody at least $50.
What? Your family?
No.
People, the DJ, the photographer, the catering staff, the wedding
Wait,
planner.
on top of paying $3,000 for a photographer,
you have to tip them. Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, dude.
So
you can see there's all these like weird
pictures.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And I'm gonna pay you an extra $50. No. Nah,
It's
you can go to,
crazy.
Like, have you? I'd be like, like that's like, I don't know, that's stupid.
Well,
Extra
I
$50, like, yeah, I'm gonna expect it.
It's
No.
it's just death by 1,000 cuts. You're just
You-
like
you-
money
well,
gets siphoned.
it
Well,
is.
right
I'm
now.
telling
Are you thinking back and be like, you know what, Are you thinking back now and being like, you know what, like that? I'm so glad I paid that guy $50 because he doesn't think I'm a dick anymore. You know what I mean?
No,
I think we could
but
have probably saved a little bit more, but
You can save at least
$10,000.
$500 tipping everybody.
yeah,
Yeah.
I just think there's some stuff that probably we could have cut, but yeah.
I with all the people that worked at my wedding, I tipped them, but the thing was, I even told them like, look, you guys just served everyone and stuff like that. I was like, have beer, have food, like you guys don't have to like sit back there. So literally, because I used to work with all these people, so yeah, they worked my wedding, but then they got to go out on the dance floor and drink and party with us too. So it was actually really cool. So,
So you still tipped him?
I paid my old boss and he tipped out of that. So I said, look, just give me a grand total. Like, just tell me the number. And my father-in-law paid for the food and all that stuff. So,
All right, so I'm curious, Alan, after hearing all this, what do you think Yukiko's decisions are going to be versus your decisions?
Isn't weddings huge in Japan? Aren't they pretty?
Well, yeah, her sister got married a couple years ago, and she had like a traditional Japanese. Hers was like a bunch. It was like she did like the traditional Japanese part where you wear like all this like specific garb, and then she had kind of like a Western style wedding after that as well.
Wow.
And it was exactly like you guys said or described, where she has to walk around like, talk to these group of people, talk to these group of people. It's kind of ritualized, and it's a lot of the people that are there are like her fiance's co-workers that she might not even know.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
lots
like-
of business people have to be brought there, so like his boss has to like say something at the wedding. There's all these kind of things, and it sounds like you don't get to spend any time for yourself,
Yeah.
especially for their type of wedding. I mean, I doubt Yukiko and I would do something like that, first of all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think
I
either of
didn't-
us want that.
yeah.
But I've
Probably
thought
have to
about
fly
having
parents
at
over.
least like like Ian said, maybe like 50, 60 people, even though that to me seems overwhelming.
it kind of is. But I mean, I'll tell you,
People
this,
would say that's small, right? People would
Yeah,
say-
exactly. Like that's
We-
a small wedding, but it still would be a lot for me, I think.
It was literally only family and close friends that we invited. No one from my work came. No one like.
How many people
none
did you
of
have, Ian?
I think about 50 to 60.
That's about how much I had.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was like, grandparents, uncles, aunts, cousins, all that kind of stuff. So.
I know, Steve. It's
I'm
stupid.
sorry, I can't.
It's stupid.
I just.
But again,
have no
that's
money,
with
so it's like- it's like a-
honeymoon, right? So
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
that's a trip, 2 trips, international flights to Italy.
Oh, okay. So that's
It's
with
2
her.
weeks of Florence, Venice.
Oh,
tons
that's
of-
gotta be beautiful.
Yeah.
Like I said, that's awesome. Though.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. So if you throw that in there, it's like.
And-
I'm
and
sitting
we
thinking
did the
like
same-
one day, but I'm thinking of that too. That sounds awesome.
Yeah, and then
I
there was also
guarantee you-
Ian. We did the
Yeah.
Ian thing where we didn't ask for gifts. We asked for money towards the trip, so that helped. People helped with that too.
Oh yeah, we're
Yeah.
not asking for any gifts or anything. We just want people. It's not gonna be like a traditional reception. We're just gonna be like we're gonna have food and everybody's gonna just come around to celebrate and talk. It's like a family's thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, really question like Alan started alluding to this, but like really just start to question rituals, why we do the things we do, or why are we adding this into the wedding? Is this really what we're about? Do we believe in this thing? Does this thing even make sense, or are we just trying to please this weird narrative that we've spun around it? Like, it's,
Well, when
yeah,
I was-
that's the big thing that I always worry about is like, is it just because it's like what you're supposed to do? Like this is what people always do. Like you have a wedding because like that's what happens when you get married.
yeah,
Well, I was talking to Amber, and Amber was she was talking to me about her first wedding, and she actually had a big wedding and everything like that, and she had no part in it whatsoever because her mom and her mom's mom playing the whole thing.
Yeah,
and she said basically weddings for the bride's moms are basically like for them, like it's their wedding, what they'd want. So when they're planning everything, it's basically what their mom wants, and it's for the parents.
If they're
basically.
paying for the wedding, that's one thing, and that's also
But if
why
they're
Sarah and I
not-
really want. Yeah, and if you're not, then I understand. Like, if they're paying for it, you kind of have to like.
Let them.
Kind of. I feel. Yeah, it would be weird. You'd almost feel selfish if you're like, no, you're gonna pay for it, and I'm gonna pay. Like,
Yeah.
You shouldn't have to feel that guilt, right? Because that should be how it is. It's your wedding. You should decide that. But
Yeah, so I mean, if that is, and yeah, okay, go ahead.
Right.
You can plan
And
everything.
then, dude, and then it's crazy because then you got people calling you up and be like, you gotta invite cousins,
invite anybody.
cousins, friends,
Oh, yeah.
friends, cousins guy, because you gotta do that. He was there when you were born, 20 years ago. You've never seen him in your life. You gotta invite him, and you're like, what? No, and he's got
Like,
family.
yeah, I would never do that kind of shit, man.
Yeah.
And that I started to get into that, like with my family and stuff. They're like, you're not inviting this person. I'm like, I have not seen that person in literally 20 years, and I am 28 years old. Okay,
Yeah.
So majority of my life, I have not
You
seen.
gotta
that
invite your
person.
second cousins. You're like, what? No, I'm inviting my close family and my uncles and aunts, and that's it. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, me and Amber are at the point right now where we're gonna start inviting people. We're thinking like, what are they gonna show up? You know, we're like, are they gonna show up? And if they're not, if they don't show up, we're gonna be like, oh, we could have invited somebody else. You know what I mean? That would show up and everything. But so far, we're just inviting people that we've seen recently. We see recently, like within like a month or 2 months. You know what I mean? So it's like, because we are getting started. People like, oh well, am I invited? Am I invited? And I'm like,
Yeah.
I haven't seen you in forever. Like, and now you're asking if you're invited. Like, that's gonna be weird.
Yeah.
So like, and it was weird because like now you're making it weird because you want to be invited. And I haven't seen you. like, all right.
Yeah. Well, that's weddings. That was a great
Oh,
topic.
and I was gonna show you something real quick. So, one thing
Don't
that
pull
we
down
did, yeah, one thing we did, you said photos and everything of that for weddings. Like we had my mother-in-law do the pictures like for our engagement photos,
Nice.
and this is what we had at the wedding. People signed around it. It was really cool. But I love this picture. But this is me and my wife. So,
Oh, that's
you guys
cool.
see it?
No,
Oh yeah.
I can see it.
you have
yeah.
to bring it down a
You're
little
like,
bit for me.
Yeah.
Bring it down. Bring it down.
Bring it down. You gotta bring it down for him.
Pactorian. There you go. Oh, okay, cool. You guys are jumping into a pool. You
Yeah,
got
that's awesome.
air, dude.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
did.
he did.
My God.
You should have just jump kicked her in the face.
What's that?
That'd have been a great photo. You should have just jumped kicked her in the face. You got air, dude.
Oh yeah.
That was awesome. I like that. That's cool.